Hey everybody, this is PJ Riley from Lancaster Archery here on the floor of the ATA show. We are here at the AAE booth. Two-time Olympic silver medalist Jake Kaminski. He is here. He's going to tell us about a cool new plunger. It's the Gold Micro Plunger. Correct. Jake, what can you tell us about this plunger? Why is it new, unique, and different?
So in the AAE Gold Micro Plunger, the things that we've changed for this year is we've cleaned up the inside of the barrel, so it's a lot smoother action. We've lightened the weight of the actual plunger stem by using a hollow carbon with different tips on the actual shaft. So the lighter a plunger tip is, the more reactive it is and the less work that the tips are doing and the more work the spring is doing. What that means is more forgiveness. So when I make a mistake, I don't see as big of an impact on the target. Yeah. And this is the lightest plunger stem that I have found on the market, especially in direct comparison to some of the other bigger name brand plungers.
Sure.
But what is also most important and really good for the consumer is that we have two different plunger tips. We have a hard anodized aluminum tip, which is this black one, and a Teflon tip, which is the white one. And the anodized aluminum is meant to go against a carbon shaft,
right.
And the other one is for aluminum shafts. So if you have two surfaces rubbing together like an arrow on a plunger tip, one of those surfaces has to wear, and the softer of the two will. So one of the biggest plungers on the market in the past, you never had to replace the plunger tip. Never had to because it never wore. It was so hard. And what people don't know out there is X10s wear out. Like my X10s, I get maybe a full season out of them. If I have 24 X10s, I will get 1 season out of them. And that's $350 a dozen for a set of arrows. There's probably more than that now for just the shafts. And this is a $20 replacement plunger tip, and I replace these once a season. So, and I get to shoot those arrows. I've shot the same arrows for going on 4 years now, and there's not a single line in the arrow. And an easy way to test that is hold your plunger tip, your arrow, like this, in around the middle, about maybe 3 inches from the tip of the arrow, and spin the arrow like this. And you can actually feel grooves worn into the side of the arrow from your plunger tip. But these ones don't do that. So, it saves the customer and the consumer a whole lot of money by replacing a couple of $20 tips.
Yeah.
And you get a lot better performance. It is more forgiving, but I see much more consistent performance throughout the year because the arrows don't degrade over time.
So you get that flat spot on there. What can that do to the arrow's flight?
Sure.
I guess all kind of things.
Yeah, I mean, it'll affect the flight a little bit, possibly change aerodynamics, but more importantly, it changes the dynamic spine of the arrow. An arrow is specifically a certain thickness, a certain weight, and things like that. And over time, you're shaving down parts of the carbon, and that's going to change how stiff the arrow is. And you have to retune the bow in order to gain back the same performance. And it's always a chase. It's a chasing game.
New plunger from AAE. That's certainly something new and unique and different. The Gold Micro Plunger from AAE. If you got any questions, you can check us out at lancasterarchery.com.